We back with another Shabbat service. Shabbat Shalom to the 12 tribes of Israel out there. Right, and we going into murder cases. Right, murder cases in the law. Right, so we about to go into it. We about to break out these, so I can break down these precepts and bring it out through the spirit and power of Yahweh Hashem Yahushua. Let me kick it off with Psalms chapter 119, verse 104.
Khan. The book of Psalms, chapter 119, verse 104, and it reads.
Khan.
All right, verse 104.
Psalms 119, 104. Khan.
Through thy precepts I get understanding.
So through the precepts and the scriptures we gain the understanding of thus saith the Lord. Read on.
Therefore I hate every false way.
Right, through thy precepts I get understanding, therefore I hate every false way. Now give me Psalms 119, 128.
The book of Psalms, chapter 119, verse 128, and it reads, Therefore I esteem all thy precepts concerning all things to be right.
Right, so we esteem all the precepts of the Lord to be right precepts. Read on.
And I hate every false way.
And we hate every false way. So we got to go to the law and to the testimony. Now give me Isaiah chapter 8, verse 20. Right? So we're not going to speak out our own belly, how we feel and what we believe to be true. Or we're going to go with the precepts and thus saith the Lord.
In the book of Isaiah, chapter 8, verse 20, and it reads,
Right?
To the law and to the testimony.
Right, so we bringing out the law and the testimonies of the Lord. Read on.
If they speak not according to this word,
If they don't speak according to the law, read on.
it is because there is no light in
It's
them.
because there is no light in them. So again, we got to go, thus saith the Lord, and we have to refer back to the law to get the understanding. So with that, I yield.
Khan. Right? And as you can see again, murder cases in the law, that's what we'll be diving into. Alright? This isn't a light thing, this is a very serious thing, especially in the ancient world. Alright, because they didn't have the modern technology to investigate and kind of got the damn science things and the blue light. They didn't have all that in the ancient world. Alright? It went a little differently. But nevertheless, these men that we call Levites, they took up a role as a detective, right, in a sense, right? And it's broken down throughout the law in Deuteronomy 21st chapter, which we'll get. But there's other examples as well of our forefathers moving in the spirit of an investigator. You understand?
Precept. Give me Deuteronomy chapter 33, verse 10. Just proving that the Levites and the priests taught the laws of the Most High. Deuteronomy chapter 33, verse 10.
In the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 33, verse 10, and it reads,
Right?
They shall teach Jacob thy judgments.
Right, so the priests and the Levites were set up to teach the Israelites the testimonies and the laws, statutes, and commandments. Read on.
And Israel thy law.
And what?
And Israel thy law.
They say they shall teach Jacob thy judgments and Israel thy law. So again, the priests were set up to teach the laws, statutes, and commandments to the Israelites. And it's not just not eating pork, crab, shrimp, lobster. It's not just growing a beard on your face. It's not just keeping the Sabbath day. There's over 600 laws that we have to strive to keep. It's laws of not murdering your brother. Let's get that in Genesis chapter 9 and verse 6. Right?
The book of
The scripture
Genesis.
says if you murder your brother or if you have hatred in your heart, you have no eternal life abiding in you. Bring it out, King.
In the book of Genesis, chapter 9, verse 6, and it reads,
Right?
Whoso sheddeth man's blood,
Whoso shed of man's blood, read on.
by man his blood shall be, by man shall his blood be shed. For in the image of Yahweh made he man.
So if you kill a man unjustly, your blood have to be shed for the murder of that man. Right? And give me Exodus chapter 23 and verse 7. So this is from the beginning. The law, statutes, and commandments was from the beginning. Adam kept the law, statutes, and commandments. Bring it
Right?
out.
In the book of Exodus, chapter 23, verse 7, and it reads, Keep thee far from a false matter,
Keep you far from a false matter. Read on.
and the innocent and righteous slay thou
You
not.
can't slay the innocent and the righteous. And that's what the white man does. Even in 2022, he continued to slay, murder unjustly the Israelites. Read on.
For I will not justify the wicked.
See that? So the Lord is not going to justify the wicked. So the point is you can't kill and murder your brother. That's an abomination in the sight of Yahweh Shem Yahushua. Right? So with that, I yield.
I got some pretty stuff.
Yeah.
I need
Yeah, kind of like the brothers, we going into murder cases in the law, right? Because it's different levels to the commandments, right? Get the book of Leviticus, right, chapter 26 and 45.
In the book of Leviticus, chapter 26, verse 45, and it reads,
It's like you go to verse 46,
verse 46.
right?
These are the statutes and judgments and laws.
Right, so you got statutes, judgments, and laws, right? So the law is thou shalt not murder, thou shalt not kill, right? But it's different statutes and different levels to murder that we finna dive into, right? You got when you mistakenly murder somebody, right? You got when you what they so-called premeditated murder, right? You got certain different statutes that fits the commandments, right? Keep reading.
Which the Lord made between him and the children of Israel in Mount Sinai by the hand of Moses.
Right, by the hand of Moses. Get Exodus 20 and 13.
In the book of Exodus, chapter 20, verse 13, and it reads,
Right?
Thou shalt not
The
kill.
Lord say,
Thou shalt not kill.
and so the Lord plain upon table said, thou shalt not kill. Right? No murder. Right? So we're going to go through these different statutes dealing with murder and the different levels to murder in the different cases.
real quick.
Because you can't just kill somebody, because if you heard somebody say, hey, yeah, I seen him kill him, well, hold up, we gotta investigate it, right? You can't just assume off bat he did it on purpose, right? It could have been an accident, it could have been a freak accident, and he might have did it to himself, right? You need 2 or 3 more witnesses in certain cases. You can't just, see a dead body and see the closest person there and say, he did it, it's on him, case closed, and then drink some yayan. No, you gotta be thoroughly investigated. You can get Proverbs real quick, 12 and 27.
In the book of Proverbs, chapter 12, verse 27, and it reads, The slothful man roasted not that which he took in hunting, but the substance of a diligent man is precious.
Right, the substance of a diligent man is precious, because whatever he sees, he's gonna digest the matter, right? Not just look at it and just say it is what it is on the surface level. He's gonna analyze everything that happened. He's gonna go through the different steps. He's gonna go through X, Y, and Z to make sure everything's done properly and in order. It can't be done in a sloppy order. You understand?
You got it. What precept you just brought up?
Proverbs 12 and 27.
Bring out Proverbs chapter 14, verse 15. So the brother going into it, man. You a righteous man. If you prudent, you're going to look well to your goings. Right? You got to weigh the situation. Scriptures say, weigh their wickedness in the balance. Right? The Lord deals with a just balance when you read Proverbs chapter 11, verse 1. You got to hear both sides of the spectrum. You would be a damn fool just to point the finger and you didn't investigate. That's actually wicked in the sight of the Lord. So bring this out, King. Proverbs 14, 15.
In the book of Proverbs, chapter 14, verse 15, and it reads, The simple believeth every word.
Hey, the simple man believeth every word. Oh, he killed him. I don't need to hear nothing else. He's getting locked up. Let's pick up these stones and put him to death when you didn't even investigate the matter. That's you being simple, believing every word. Read on.
But the prudent man looketh well to his going.
But a prudent man, a man of understanding, he's going to investigate and look well to his goings. Right, so go back to Exodus chapter 20 and verse 12, 13. It says, thou shalt not murder.
In the book of Exodus, chapter 20, verse 13. Love not sleep.
Exodus, brother.
Oh, you said Exodus. So hard. The book of Exodus, chapter 20, verse 13, and it reads, Thou shalt not kill.
Right, so when you actually go into the Hebrew, that word kill, right, we got the blue letter pulled up.
Pull it up too, King. I'm sure.
Oh,
Gotta turn the turn the projector on. Gotta push power on.
Right, so we about to go into it, man, because the thing about the Bible, you got to go into it, man. Right, you can't read things on the surface level and just take it, that's what it is. Now, certain scriptures, you can do that. But other scriptures, you got to go into the Hebrew, you got to go into the Greek, and you got to get the proper understanding. Because you got to kill to eat, right? The scriptures say the slothful man take him not, roast him not, which he took to hunting. Right? So the Lord deals with slaughtering, animals to eat. So you have to kill to eat, but you cannot murder unjustly.
Is it plugged up?
Right? So bring that out for me, King.
Is it out there?
Well, that's Exodus chapter 20, verse 13.
Thou shalt not kill.
Right? It say, thou shalt not kill.
You see that
Right.
remote, King?
Give me Genesis chapter 4, verse 8.
In the book of Genesis, chapter 4, verse 8, and it reads, And Cain talked with Abel, his brother. And it came to pass, when they were in the field, that Cain rose up against Abel, his brother, and slew him.
Right? So Cain slew Abel, his brother, man. This is the first known murderer in the scriptures.
Right.
Cain killed his brother Abel. Read on.
And the Lord said unto Cain, Where is Abel thy brother? And he said, I know not. Am I my brother's keeper?
And he's supposed to be your brother's keeper. You're supposed to look out for your brother and make sure he's straight. The scriptures say, be thou diligent to know the state of thy flocks. So you got to look well to your brother. Make sure he's all right. Make sure he's doing okay spiritually and built up. Read on.
And he said, What hast thou done? The voice of thy brother's blood crieth unto me from the ground.
Right? Meaning the spirit of Abel was crying out in the spiritual realm. Right? That's what it means when they say the blood crieth out from the ground. That's not literal. That's all spiritual. Right? Keep reading.
And now art thou cursed from the earth.
Right? And give me 2nd Ezra chapter 15 and verse 10 on that. I believe it's verse 8 actually. Right? So the blood cries out from the ground. Meaning the spirit of that person is up there in the heavens crying out to the Lord. Asking the Most High to revenge their blood upon the wicked. Alright?
In the book of 2nd Ezra, chapter 15, verse 8, and it reads, I will hold my tongue no more as touching their wickedness.
Right? The Lord said he's not going to hold his peace no more. For a long time, the Lord was holding his peace. Watching the so-called white man slay the Israelites, hang us from trees, buck break men, right? Lynch us, hit the nigger baby, feed our children to alligators. For a long time, he was watching the murder and the slaughtering upon the Israelites. Read on.
Which they profanely commit.
Read on.
Neither will I suffer them in those things which they wickedly exercise themselves.
And they wickedly exercise themselves in murder. Read on.
Behold, the innocent and righteous crieth unto me.
They crieth unto the Lord. This is talking about the Israelites in the spiritual realm crying out to the Most High, asking the Lord to revenge their blood upon the so-called white man. Read on.
And the souls of the just complain
You
continually.
say the souls of the just complain continually. Now give me Revelation chapter 6 and verse 9. Right?
In the book of Revelation, chapter 6, verse 9, and it reads, And when he had opened the 5th seal, I saw under the altar the souls of them that were slain for the word of Yahweh.
And the souls of those that were slain for the word of the Lord is talking about the Israelites that was beheaded for the witness of truth. When you read Revelation chapter 20 and verse 4. So you're going to have certain brothers that get put to death for the Lord. For teaching the words of Yahweh Shem Yahushua, they're going to deem that as a felony. Domestic terrorism. They're going to throw you in a concentration camp and put you to death. But that's all prophesied in the Bible. Read on.
And for the testimony which they held. Verse 10, And they cried with a loud voice, saying, How long, O Lord, holy and true, dost thou not judge and avenge our blood on them that dwell on the earth?
See that? So they crying out in the spiritual realm, right? Under the altar, crying out to the Lord. Lord, please avenge us. Please kill the so-called white man. Read on.
Verse 11, And white robes were given unto every one of them, And it was said unto them that they should rest yet for a little season, unto their fellow servants also and their brethren that should be killed as they were should be fulfilled.
Right, playing upon tables. Now go back to Exodus 20 and 13, right? Because that word there is rasa, right?
In the book of Exodus, chapter 20, verse 13, thou shalt not kill.
Right? Thou shalt not kill, but that word there is rasa, which means murder. Premeditated. You understand? So this is premeditated murder. This is murder one. That's what Esau calls it. All right? Murder to the first degree. Right? Meaning you had it in your mind that you're going to go murder somebody.
That's right.
Right? You had so much hate, envy, and jealousy built up in you that you killed your brother. Right? With that, I yield.
Yeah, some precepts. You got some points.
Yeah, Con. So, go touch on the law in that, man. Like going to these statutes. Get Exodus 21 and 12.
In the book of Exodus, chapter 21, verse 12, and it reads,
Matter of fact, start at verse 1. Then we go jump back down. Read verse 1 real quick.
In the book of Exodus, chapter 21, verse 1, and it reads,
Right?
Now these are the judgments which thou shalt set before them.
Right, so these are the judgments. Right, you got different statutes, laws, and judgments. So this is going into certain judgments. One is dealing with different forms of murder. Right, jump to verse 12.
Verse 12,
Right?
he that smiteth a man so that he die shall be surely put to death.
You see that? If you smite a man to kill him, he's just sure to be put to death. Right? That's that premeditated murder. Right, read?
Verse 13, and if a man lie not in wait, but Yahweh deliver him into his hand,
Right?
then I will appoint thee a place whither he shall flee.
Right, so if a man doesn't lie in wait, he's not secretly going to murder his brother, right, kind of hide behind a bush, but they get into a fight, and he might just die from the fight. You didn't purposely kill your brother, and the Lord's going to give you a place to flee. Right, that's known as the Refuges of Blood, right, the people that could kill you. You got the Refuges of Blood, and then you got the refuge cities. Right, let's get, what's that, Numbers 35.
In the
Right,
book of Numbers, 35.
35 and get verse 6.
In the book of Numbers, chapter 35, verse 6, and it reads,
Right,
and among the cities which ye gave unto the Levites,
right,
there shall be 6 cities for refuge.
for what?
There shall be 6 cities for refuge.
Right, so it's going to be 6 cities for refuge amongst where the Levites dwell. Because the Levites dwell among all the Israelites in the suburbs. Right, read?
Which ye shall appoint for the manslayer.
Right, for a manslayer. Even Esau calls it that. Right, a lower level murder would be manslaughter. Right, read?
That he may flee thither. And to them ye shall add 42 cities.
You see that? So that's where a man can flee. And when he's there, you can't kill him. Like the Refuges of Blood. Right, because it's actually lawful for your close to kin to actually put somebody to death, right? If they kill your family,
Genesis 9 and 6.
right? You can actually do that. But if they flee to that city, then you can't do it unless they did premeditated murder. All right, bring it up.
Give me Deuteronomy chapter 19 and verse 3. Right?
In the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 19, verse 3, and it reads, thou shalt prepare thee a way, and divide the coast of thy land, which the Lord thy God giveth thee to inherit, into 3 parts,
Into 3 parts. Read on.
that every slayer may flee thither.
So this is going into the city of refuge, like the brother was just bringing out. Right? So that this man that, ignorantly slays his brother, he can flee to these different cities and have a place of refuge. Keep reading.
Verse 4. And this is the case of the slayer, which shall flee thither,
This is the case. This is the matter. Read on.
that he may live. Whoso killeth his neighbor ignorantly,
You see that? So he killed his neighbor ignorantly. Right? He didn't do it purposefully. Right? He didn't do it just to be a nigga. Right? He did it by accident. Keep reading.
whom he hateth not in time
You
past.
see that? So he didn't hate his brother in his time past, right? It was an accident. Sometimes accidents happen, man, right? You might be at work, right? You kind of down, chopping down the tree with the axe, and then the axe slip and jam up your brother, man. That wasn't really your fault. That was an accident. You got it, brother.
God, can you Google manslaughter for us, Barbara Shaw?
It's actually more than that too, man.
Yeah, it's waiting on that.
God,
Get
real quick.
You want to get that?
yeah, just so Israel can see. Because now the scriptures is not going to use the terms that we use today. But that's what it is. The crime of killing somebody without malice or afterthought. It just kind of happened. You know, like the brothers were saying, you might be at work. Hey, that happened a lot in construction. People kind of just killed somebody by accident. Oh, I didn't mean to.
Hands get chopped off.
Hey, it was a scene where it was supposed it's like a plank of wood, right? It's like, what's that called? Plywood, right? And it's a hole right there. Now the person, they didn't know that. They didn't know it was a hole under the plywood, and they lifted it up and just started walking. And then they died. They gave up the ghost. That was a construction. Did somebody actually murder him? I was just, this man's goings. Somebody put that plywood there by accident, and
That was just your day.
yeah, that was your time to go. Somebody call that manslaughter.
It was that Jake that was a truck driver that recently got persecuted for like 150 years for life.
Oh,
And
yeah.
all he was doing is his job.
Yeah, Issachar thing.
Yep, and his truck went out of control, and he ran over, killed a lot of people on that freeway.
Yeah. Yeah, the brakes mixed up. On the spiritual level, that's judgment, but on the surface carnal level, and it's manslaughter. He didn't mean to do that. He didn't wake up and say, I can't wait to kill these niggas.
Yeah, Esau, he don't give a damn, right? You going to jail, right? Esau not gonna say, well, look, it was an accident. It's okay. Get a slap on the wrist. Right? You got general labor. You got construction. So they deal with wood. That's a dangerous job, man. Let's just be real. Construction is a dangerous job. Right? They got certain men, they damn 20 stories up working on damn a roof. A skyscraper roof. They can get put to death, man. Right? One false move. Somebody knock down your brother now fall off the skyscraper, and that's it.
I actually had to see that when I was so-called carpentry school. We had to see all the ways that people died. Like certain videos and stuff. People was getting jammed up. It was all manslaughter. People kind of just tap somebody's shoulder. It looks nice up here. This is a nice view. Tap their shoulder and you just fall off.
Yeah.
They didn't wake up and mean to do it. It just happened, man. Some people got the big steamroller. They say, back up, back up. The guy in the steamroller can't hear. He keep backing up and he kind of gets splashed. Or splat.
Get crushed by a crane. Look up friendly fire. They even got that in the army, man. They got friendly fire. Where you shoot your man on accident. That happens in the army, man. Right? You kind of shoot him. Then you end up hitting your brothers. Right? Friendly fire. Right. It's a weapon fire coming from one's own side. Especially fire that causes accidental injury or death to one's own forces, man. So you can kill your own brother in the midst of war. But it was an accident. It was out of ignorance.
I seen a video with an Edomite. He had shot an undercover cop.
Oh yeah, that stuff be happening too. They always shoot somebody that's undercover. That happened a lot in the movies.
He was real trigger happy too. And the undercover cop was real mad. He said, I'm sorry, I didn't know that was you.
Yeah, that was it, man. That's what you call manslaughter, friendly fire, so on and so forth. So this is what we're reading about right now in Deuteronomy chapter 19, verse 5. Read it again, Cain.
Verse top, in the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 19, verse 5.
Read verse 4 again, Salaki.
Kind. Verse 4. And this is the case of the slayer, which shall flee thither, that he may live. Whoso killeth his neighbor ignorantly,
Killeth his neighbor ignorantly, friendly fire, manslaughter. Read on.
Whom he hated not in time past.
You didn't hate this man in time past because he might have been your friend or your brother. Y'all might have been at war with each other. War with one another. Going against the war against the enemy. Right? You got it.
As when a man goeth into the wood with his neighbor to hew wood, and his hand fetcheth a stroke with the axe to cut down the tree, and the head slippeth from the hill.
Right? The head slipping from the hill. Right? That damn axe fall apart.
Yep.
Right? It kind of
just fall out.
Yeah. You see that?
Start flying.
Look up an axe real quick, King.
Because sometimes that can happen too. You know, whoever put together these axes, you know, sometimes it's faulty.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's just jammed up.
Yeah.
And you pull back, and the head of the axe just start flying and kind of just
Yeah, it
get a smutty head and bullseye, man.
Yeah, real quick. It take a lot of strength when you cutting down a tree, man. You got to put a lot into it.
And the axes, they didn't look like they didn't have metal axes back then. Not like, you know, the strong fortified ones. It was typically just wood and that, you know.
Right, so this is the head of the axe. Right? The head of the axe. And this would be the hill. So that damn head can slip from the axe.
Yep.
And that's all metal. That's all sharp. It got to be sharp. You cutting down the tree. That thing kind of slip, jam up your brother. Like Yardan said, bullseye. Right? So the head slipping from the hill.
And lighteth upon his neighbor that he die. He shall flee unto one of those cities and live.
Hey, and he gonna flee, man.
Yeah.
Let's believe he gonna flee. Right? You see that blood everywhere, his dead brother, and he didn't mean to do it. He kind of paranoid. I gotta go to the city, man. I gotta go to these places of refuge so I don't get put to death by his uncle, right? Or by his brother, or by his father, so on and so forth.
And real quick, now you can say, well, hold up, I didn't mean to do it, Salakia. They don't want to hear that. Nobody wants to hear that if you accidentally killed somebody. They're going to come straight for you. You're going to get jammed up, man.
God,
I got a precept.
verse 6.
I got a precept on this.
Specifically on this?
Yeah,
God.
revenge of blood. Right, get 2 Samuel chapter 14.
It was more on
Let's
this.
start at 5. Yeah, I'm bringing this out and link up with the revengers of blood. Like you say, you definitely go flee because they coming for you, man. All right, bring it up.
In the book of 2 Samuel, chapter 14, verse 5, and it reads,
Right,
And the king said unto her, What aileth thee?
right.
And she answered, I am indeed a widow woman, and mine husband is dead.
Right, read.
And thy handmaid had 2 sons, and they two stove together in the field,
Right, they strove together in the field. They was fighting. Right, read.
and there was none to part. There was none to part them.
Right, nobody was there to break up the fight. Read.
But the one smote the other and slew him.
Right, so he killed his brother. Right, they was fighting. Nobody broke it apart. He ended up killing his brother. Right, read.
Verse 7, And behold, the whole family is risen against thine handmaid.
Right.
And they said, Deliver him that smote his brother, that we may kill him.
Now we what?
That we may kill him.
So they say, hey, deliver him up so we can put him to death, man. That's a revenger of blood. Right, when you kill somebody to close to kin, they'll come and get you, man. But if you flee to that city of refuge, then you'll be safe until it's judged by the Levites. And then they'll see if it was premeditated or not. Right, and we can go into that later on. That you want to continue reading in there. But you gotta, we can bring that out later to show that they'll judge you, and they'll kind of, based on how the judgment go, take you back to the city of refuge where you can dwell at. And they'll take you out of the hand of the revenger of blood.
All right, quick point.
This is what you call second-degree murder, right? Intention of killing somebody without premeditation. Because they strove together. Sometimes that happens too. You fight somebody. You don't mean to kill them. You just get in a fight. But they kind of just fall back, hit their head, and they don't open their eyes. And you wondering why.
Kind of shaking them.
Yeah, wake up. Trying to slap him around. Yeah. Stop playing. And he's dead. He's gone. His spirit's in the spiritual world. And you got to flee because you killed him. Although it wasn't premeditated, you still killed them nonetheless. You know?
Yeah.
And that's still a cause for you to leave and go to the city of refuge.
That's right. Go back to Deuteronomy chapter 19, verse 6. And Esau don't want to hear that, man. Right? Second degree murder, you going to prison, man. Right? Matter of fact, let me look up the penalty for that. Second degree murder. Damn. Go to maximum penalty.
Still get some good years in there.
40 years in prison. 40 years in prison. That's a long ass time, man. Right? If you 20 years old, look, you're going to be 60 when you get out.
Yeah,
You're going to be an old man
might as well be late.
with grays. Right? And you might catch new charges in prison, man. You might damn fight somebody. Right? It's a lot of madness that go on in prison. You can add to that time new charges. You understand? So that's damn near life right there. 40 years in prison. Right? So get Deuteronomy chapter 19, verse 6.
In the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 19, verse 6, and it reads, lest the avenger of the blood pursue the slayer.
Lest the avenger of the blood pursue the slayer. He can pursue you in his hot displeasure, man.
You better hope he's not fast. You better hope he's not good with the arrow. Hey, man, you're a giraffe and he's the damn lion at that moment, man.
Yeah. Keep reading.
While his heart is hot,
See that? So he's mad, he's hot, he's furious. Read on.
and overtake him, because the way is long, and slay him.
Mm.
Whereas he was not worthy of death, insomuch as he hated him not in time past.
There you go, man. And these were vendors of blood, man. Hey, they might have been crafty. They probably waiting at the city, man. Waiting, because they know you're going to be there. They waiting at the gate, at the doorpost, just to jam you up, man. Where you going? So you had to be kind of crafty even when you flee into these different cities. You had to be on the low, right? Kind of put a hoodie over your head, right? Kind of walking up in the city. Probably got to flee at nighttime, man. So nobody can catch you. You got it.
Quick point, hey, you're wanted, right? For lack of better words, you're wanted, right? Now, I'm not sure, you know, in what great detail they went to posting up the picture and whatever, but nonetheless, you're wanted. You're a wanted criminal. You know, now unless you flee to that city, then they kind of tear down a wanted post or whatever. Because, you know, you're in that safe haven, so-called. You got to dwell there for the rest of your life until you know, certain things arises, but we'll get to that in a minute.
Yeah, I wanted to bring that out to show that if they left that city of refuge, right, hey, all hell would break loose. All right, get that Numbers 35, start at 26.
In the book of Numbers, chapter 35, verse 26, and it reads,
Right?
but if the slayer shall at any time come without the border of the city of his refuge,
Right?
whither he was fled,
Right, so if you come outside the borders of that refuge city, right, read. Matter of fact, start at, that's good, start at 22,
22, kind of.
right?
In the book of Numbers, chapter 35, verse 22, and it reads,
Right?
But if he thrust him suddenly without enmity,
Right, like you fighting against your brother, right, you know, and, you know, you kind of thrust them, something happened, an accident, or just a plain old accident, right, read?
or have cast upon him anything without laying of weight,
Right, read?
or with any stone, wherewith a man may die, seeing him not.
Right, you don't purposely throw a stone to kill him, right, but you could be doing anything, man, right? Just throwing rocks in a damn swamp, and the rock kind of hits somebody in the head.
You can be hunting. You can be out hunting with the spear, right? You can be out damn hunting with the spear. You think that's a deer? That's your brother, man. You jam up and right, you damn fall over. Then you go to walk to see if it's a deer. Then you see a Jake lying there, man. So there you go. You got it, brother.
It was the Edomite girl. Her father had took her to the gun range. He shot
I seen
shot
that.
somebody straight.
Breaking your house.
Yeah, I seen that. Yeah, and that was judgment from the Lord.
You gotta pull that out.
Right, you had a Edomite. His son killed him, man.
Yeah.
His son picked up the gun. He pointed at his father, shattered. Right?
Praises to the Most High.
That was all praise to the Most High, man. I think he was like a Confederate leader or something like that. And that was judgment from the Lord, man. Upon his own household overthrew him, man.
Yeah. So you can keep reading that. Right, 23. It says, and cast it
up upon him.
right,
And cast it upon him that he died.
right,
And was not his enemy.
right.
Neither sought his harm.
Read.
Then the congregation shall judge between the slayer and the revenger of blood according to these judgments.
You see that? And then they bring them to the congregation and they'll have court. Again, like we brought out, you can't just make a sudden assumption. Like, he killed them, we go get him. And you can't move like that. Right? They had a whole council, a whole trial. Right? Keep reading.
Verse 25. And the congregation shall deliver the slayer out of the hand of the revenger of blood, and the congregation shall restore him to the city of his refuge,
Right.
whether he was fled, and he shall abide in it unto the death of the high priest, which was anointed with the holy oil.
Right. So you have to stay there until the death of the high priest. That's how long you have to stay in that city. So it could be for the rest of your life. It could be for 3 years, 3 months. But however long until the high priest dies, that's how long you have to stay in that city. Right, keep reading.
That's crazy. All right. Verse 28.
26.
Verse 26, Salaki. But if the slayer shall at any time come about the border of the city
Right.
of his refuge, whether he was fled.
Right, like the brother said, hey, somebody might be so damn mad you killed their brother, and they might stay right outside the city, just kind of looking at the gate. Like, I dare this nigga to come out, man. I got something for him. Kill my uncle.
This brother might have a big family too, man. You know, wars talk, man. So, you know.
Right, so if you leave that city, right, anytime before the high priest die, right, read.
And the revenger of blood find him without the borders of the city of his refuge.
Right, he kind of finds you. He's like, oh, I see, that's such and such. The high priest still alive. Oh, here you go. Right, read.
And the revenger of blood killed the slayer.
Right.
And he shall not be guilty of blood.
Right, he's not going to be guilty of the blood because you should have stayed in that city, man. You should have stayed in that city, right, until the high priest died. Because now it's a free game. Like you said, you might have a big family, right?
Family of hitmen.
They kind of catch you and they're like, oh yeah. Then they kind of, you get struck with an arrow and you wonder why, man, because they push you to death because you killed their uncle 5 years ago.
Get sniped by an arrow.
Right?
I got a quick point.
Can you Google house arrest? Because that's essentially what it is.
Yeah.
You can't leave.
Now you can, but good luck. See how far that'll take you. Because you know you got people on the outside waiting for you. And there's no telling how they were moving, man. They probably walked in the city just to look at them, kind of interrogate them. Niggas probably.
Trying to bait him out. They probably trying to bait him out the city, man.
Just do it. Life for a life. Don't you want to serve the Lord? You know, promise to look, I take care of your family. Just give me your life. You know, bring it up, King.
Yeah.
House arrest is an alternative to being in a prison while awaiting trial or after sentencing. You know, they had wars in the ancient world. Now, the Lord could have said, well, look, build up a ward and throw him in there for 10 years.
I want to make one point.
No, he said, hey, bring him to the city of refuge, and that's going to be his house. That's that, what do they call it? Damn near halfway house. Almost.
I want to just make one point on that. It says, while awaiting trial or after sentencing. Right, so the city of refuge is exactly that because you fled soon as the murder happened. And then they have a trial and they'll decide from there. Because if you purposely kill somebody, they'll take you out that city and they go push you to death. Don't think you safe. They figure out like, oh, you premeditated murder him. So they'll push you to death. And that's in, gotta find that precept. I believe that's that's Deuteronomy 19, verse 11. Right, it says, but if any man hate his neighbor and lie in wait for him and rise up against him and smite him mortally that he die and flee into one of those cities, then the elders of his city shall send and fetch him thence, and deliver him into the hand of the avenger of blood, that he die. Right? That's Deuteronomy 19 and 11. Right? So if you run to that city after you premeditatedly killed your brother, you're not safe, man. They gonna snatch you up, you're gonna be kind of kicking, they gonna be dragging you, and they gonna take you to the revenger of blood. And he got the honors of putting you to death.
There's certain stipulations to certain things.
You gotta.
It's a if-then situation. It's a
A
whole
whole lot of if-thens when it comes to the law. If this happened, then this has to happen. If that happens, then this has to happen. Right? You can't just, oh, I accidentally killed him. Sorry. And then kind of flee to the next city, man. No, you did it on purpose. And guess what? They're going to put a bounty on you. Can you move it up, Abu Bashar? They're going to get a bounty on your head. Now you're wanted for good. Right? They're going to say, hey, have you seen so-and-so? You know.
Jacob's trying to escape too.
See, some paid for killing or capturing a person and or animal, right? A recompense. Pretty much, and you can't go nowhere because it's a bounty on your head, man.
Yup. That's right. Give me
speak of ancient world.
Hey, that's that Leviticus 5. That's what Leviticus 5:1 command. You know, if you see him, you can't say, "Well, I didn't see him." You know, Jake got that now in the hood. I didn't see nothing. No, you gotta tell.
Oh, murder.
Yeah. Murder where?
Right. Matter of fact, bring out Leviticus 5:1.
In the book of Leviticus, chapter 5, verse 1. And
That's
it
how wicked
reads,
Jake is, man.
That's when everybody's
Oh, yeah.
and if a soul sin,
No snitching.
and if a soul sin, and hear the voice of swearing, and is a witness,
Right?
whether he have seen or known of it.
Right? You might have seen that murder happen, or you might have known of it from the grapevine. You heard about this murder. You heard that such and such killed such and such, man. Keep reading.
If he do not utter it, then he shall bear his iniquity.
Hey, you gotta bear your iniquity now, because you were a witness to that unrighteous blood being shed, or that innocent blood, rather.
Yeah, that's even in Esau time. Like they sit there and say, like you're basically aiding the enemy.
Yeah.
You
Harboring the
accessory.
fugitive.
Yeah, harboring the fugitive.
Right? You an accessory to murder, man. Like if your brother go down, commit a damn drive-by, and you the driver, you gonna get jammed up, man.
Yep.
Because you an accessory to that murder. All right? Right? Go to Numbers chapter 35 and verse 16.
In the book of Numbers, chapter 35, verse 16, and it reads.
Matter of fact, go to verse 15. Matter of fact, go to verse 14.
Verse 14, and it reads, Ye shall give 3 cities on this side Jordan,
3 cities on Jordan, read on.
and 3 cities shall you give in the land of Canaan,
3 cities in Canaan, read on.
which shall be cities of refuge.
So these are the cities of refuge. Keep reading.
These 6 cities shall be a refuge for both the children of Israel and for the stranger, and for the sojourner among them, that every one that killeth any person unawares may flee thither. Verse 16. And if he smite him with an instrument of iron,
If he smite him with an instrument of iron, again, that can be a spear, a lancet, a knife, just any form of weaponry that involves iron. Read on.
so that he die, he is a murderer.
He is what?
He is a murderer.
He is a murderer. So the so-called white man is a murderer, right? Because we use that iron, that weapon, right? That gun, whether it's an M16, whether that's a damn pistol, right? I don't know too much about weapons, but you know, Esau and his police force, he's shooting at Jake with that iron weapon. Say it again, brother. Right, that Glock, right? Brothers know about weapons.
Sniper.
You got the sniper.
Rocket launcher.
See, we not Esau, man. We not Esau. We don't know about all the guns. You know, that's that damn Draco. That's bad. Keep reading.
That every one that killeth any person unawares may flee thither.
Right.
Oh wait, my bad. Verse 16.
Yep.
After the instrument, I'm gonna read from the top. And if he smite him with an instrument of iron, so that he die, he is a murderer.
He is a what?
He is a murderer.
He is a murderer. Right? Matter of fact, go to Psalms. Right? Because it states that they shoot at the perfect. Read that Psalm chapter 64.
I got another.
Precept too.
Come on, let me bring this up. Psalm chapter 64 and verse 4. Matter of fact, go to verse 3. Psalm 64 and 3.
In the book of Psalms, chapter 64, verse 3, and it reads, who whet their tongue like a sword, and bend their bows to shoot their arrows, even bitter words, that they may shoot
They may what?
that they may shoot,
That they may what?
that they may shoot
That they may shoot. Read on.
in secret at the perfect.
And that's what Esau overthrows Jacob in the secret places, man. That traffic stop at 12 o'clock midnight, that turns into a damn murder scene when you're dealing with Esau, man. Right? That's why the Lord said, agree quickly with thy adversary. You got to be wise as a serpent and harmless as a dove when you're dealing with the Edomites, man.
Right.
Get Sirach chapter 9, verse 13. Right?
Right.
In the book of Sirach, chapter 9, verse 13, and it reads, keep thee far from the man that hath power to
You
kill.
got to keep thee far from a man that have power to kill. You got to stay far away from the so-called white man because he has that power to overthrow you. Right? Hence, Derek Chauvin, man. And I believe he got charged with second-degree murder. Look that up for me, Dawood. And really, that was first-degree murder. That was premeditated.
That Washington sniper was outrageous.
DC Sniper,
I don't even think that's him.
Malvo and Marlo.
Hey, one of the Russians killed a sniper out there in Ukraine.
You know, I got something else on my
Right?
No, the Ukraine.
So I want to get, did he get
Russia.
second
He was a
degree
sniper.
or third?
Damn thug.
Right.
Who was he charged with?
Yeah, what was he charged with?
It was second degree for sure.
Come
He
on,
got
let's-
22
He
years.
probably got a short sentence too.
Say
Oh, he got
22.
like, you got
He got 22 years.
he not gonna do all
Oh,
that.
that's y'all.
you gotta do like 7. It's like a pretty stupid. Yeah, he right.
All right, go up, get his face. Get this devil, man. Get his face first. You see that? A damn murderer, man. He got that murder eye, man. He got the murder. Look at his eyes. He got the murderous eyes, man.
Right. Double.
Right? You can't tell me that's not a murderer.
Pedophile.
His damn pupils dilated.
Like, why y'all charge me?
Well, we gonna get his ass. We should get it on the Facebook.
All right, Shemad. Let me read this. It say, the jury found Chauvin 45 guilty of all three charges. Second degree unintentional murder. Damn. Look, that was intentional, man.
Right.
That was murder in the first degree. That was premeditated,
Because
man.
he was dealing with he was going off. He was dealing with this white girl at the bar,
Yeah.
and you know how that escalated. He was jealous, you know.
And so it's a second degree unintentional murder, third degree murder, and second degree manslaughter. Right? And in all actuality, that's not what he did. That was first degree murder, man. That was premeditated. He meant to kill that brother.
His lawyer said, look.
8 minutes. 8 minutes.
Right here, had his damn knee on his neck.
For
He's
8
kind of
minutes.
getting off on it. Right?
8 minutes though. How you do that for 8 minutes?
That's a long ass time.
And then it say he could face up to 40 years in prison for second degree murder, up to 25 years for third degree murder, and up to 10 years for second degree murder.
I can't do 8
Manslaughter.
minutes without my legs.
He got 12 years. Look,
So-
the actual sentence at the bottom.
Right? And I believe all that ran concurrent. So it say the actual sentences will likely be much lower, though, because Chauvin has no prior convictions. Minnesota sentencing guidelines recommend about 12 and a half years in prison for each murder charge and about 4 years for the manslaughter charge. If they're going to run that concurrent. It say the judge would ultimately decide to the exact length whether those will be served at the same time or back to back. So he ain't going to do more than 15 years. So he can still get out, live his life, be with his family. While George Floyd is in the heavens. Right, he is going to get put to death by the Lord. Right, thermonuclear fire.
Might get put to death in jail.
Yeah. Right? So it's a second degree unintentional murder charge, alleged Chauvin caused Floyd's death without intent, while committing or attempting to commit felony third degree assault. In turn, third degree assault is defined as the intentional infliction of substantial bodily harm. Right? And I'm pretty sure all the brothers seen the video, man. He had his knee on his neck. So the point I'm making is that was premeditated murder.
He like, what you gonna do about it? He got that, what you gonna do about it, look.
Yeah, that video was chilling, man. You get damn goosebumps watching that video. You literally seen the damn spirit leave George Floyd's body, man.
Double, man.
And he was getting off on right, he had his knee on his neck getting off on it, man. Bastard. Go ahead.
Psalms 10:7-8.
God, bring it up.
In the book of Psalms, you said 10:7-8. In the book of Psalms, chapter 10, verse 7, it reads, his mouth is full of cursing and deceit and fraud.
Because ultimately, he pled not guilty. Right? That's in Zechariah chapter 11, verse 5. Who possess to slay them and hold themselves not guilty.
He was supposed to get hit with the book way more.
Yep. He was supposed to get hit with life. Right? You get Jake life for selling drugs, which that's wicked and abominable. But this man put to death a man.
Nigga give Jake the truck driver that didn't even mean to kill anybody 150 years.
Yep.
It's just injustice.
They get Jake the electric chair, the needle, the death penalty.
40 years ago, the police dog.
Remember that kid that was 14 years
40
old,
years
George
old.
Stinney?
Yeah.
That 14-year-old, he didn't even commit that crime. Them two heathens did. And they put it on that little boy, and he was the first kid to get the electric chair.
Yep. It was another Jake. They said he was stealing ice cream, and they gave him the electric chair.
Oh,
And they
Right. This happened back in the early 1900s.
And they so grimy, if they can't get you to get put to death by the system, they'll get you put to death in jail.
Yep.
'Cause they run the guards, you know what I'm saying? They take a check on you, like, hey, man, you want some food? Kind of get all the guards gonna kind of get you put to death now.
Yep.
But
Throw
we
you in a
wrong
hole.
for being racist.
Hey, you in a hole for 5 years. Bug out your mentality. Right. You got a point, brother.
Nah, question. In these refugee cities, is it where are they all murderers in these cities?
It's different ones, so they gotta go to different locations.
That's what it's for. They all-
So this is
Same
city.
mixed in?
Yeah, they all killed. Everybody in them refuge city killed somebody.
Okay, that's all.
Whether it was, if it was murder, they gonna get put to death. But if it was unintentional, that's their city of refuge where they can stay at.
That's their new life.
Yeah, that's where they stay until the high priest die.
Right.
The people who unintentionally murdered. But like I said, if they find out you really did it, like they go fetch you out the city and put you to death.
Yeah, and they could find,
Like
there's no statute of limitation on murder. You understand? Matter of fact, look that up real quick, Ken. Statutes of limitations on
I got another
You
precept.
can find
too.
out. Oh, go ahead. I was gonna say you can find out. You can find out somebody murdered somebody 10, 15 years from the case,
It's called
right? But when you find out,
Yeah, no
when
maximum period.
you find out that they did it, they gonna get locked up, man. But in this case, they'll get put to death, right? So no maximum period. You understand? So you could have killed somebody back in '98 and get charged for it in damn 2022.
Right, man.
You
And it's like
understand?
that in the city of refuge.
Yeah, and it's like
Wait
that in
a
the city of ref. You might think you good, you living good.
Nope.
I mean,
had his name, his location.
yeah, you in the city of refuge, living good, knowing you murdered somebody. Yeah, I'm good, I'm good. And then you find out, and then the judges come to you one day and say, "Come with me," and they grab you up, and they take you to the rivers of blood, and they pick up a stone and put you to death, man. Right? But you thought you got away scot-free,
Alright.
right?
The laws of the Bible are mighty, man. They take, as you can see, they take all this stuff from the scriptures. Third degree murder. That's all in the Bible. Premeditated murder. That's in the scriptures. It's deeper than thou shalt not kill, man. The statutes and levels and judgments that go with it. Right? Now get Exodus 22 and verse 2. Right? Check this out.
In the book of Exodus, chapter 22, verse 2, and it reads,
Right?
if a thief be found breaking up
Right?
and be smitten that he die,
Right?
there shall no blood be shed for him.
Right? You kind of got the thing on you at the crib. Somebody kind of, you rumbling through your stuff. You kind of blast them Hey man, the Lord said it's no blood for that, man. Right? Because he broke into your prayer. You don't know what this guy finna do. Right? So he can actually, and that's in Esau law.
Yep, stand your ground.
Right? Somebody kind of break in your house, you can kind of put them to death, huh? And no blood gonna get shed for him. Right? But keep reading that.
Verse 3. If the sun be risen up upon him.
Right, but if this daylight, you can kind of see who it is. Right? Read.
There shall be bloodshed for him.
Right, so basically you can't just kind of, you see exactly who it is, and you just put them to death anyway. No, you can actually wait and then just make a report and say this person stole from him. Right, but that's why I say if the sun is risen upon him. Right, read.
For he should make full restitution.
Right, because he's going to have to make full restitution and add some thereon too. Right, to pay you back. Right, read.
If he have nothing, then he shall be sold for his theft.
Right, then he gonna get sold for his thievery. Right, so if he ain't got nothing to give, and guess what? Now he got to be a Hebrew servant. Right, and he can serve you for 6 years. You let him go to 7th year, whatever the case may be, man.
The life is in his hand.
Right, but that's how that works. So somebody you find them breaking up and you kind of hit them with an arrow, they kind of clean the arrow, kind of hit them, and that blood out on you. Because the sun risen, you see exactly what it is. You kind of tackle them, kind of grip them up, and then say, hey, and take them to the judge.
Yeah, because like the brother bringing out, you don't know who that is, man. That could have been a damn murderer coming up in your house, or Edomite, or a heathen breaking and entering.
Pervert.
Right? Go to stand your ground law.
All these laws in the Esau ain't make up nothing, man.
Yeah, hey, what the scripture say? Jacob is the form of all things.
These laws are perfect too.
So it says stand your ground law. A stand your ground law is a law that allows citizens to protect themselves if they feel their lives are in danger. Man, you in the house sleep with your family, man.
Right. Somebody break up in there.
You in the house sleeping with your family. You got your 2 wives. You got your wife right here. You got your children, right? And somebody just break up in your house, going through your window with a bow and arrow, right? With a damn mask on.
Period style.
You gotta point out the law too.
Yeah, you gotta get on that.
What they say?
The origins.
The origin, 1600s English
We just
law.
read
What
that.
else?
They didn't make it up.
This
This is a law.
Like we just read in the scriptures. Go up now,
That's a lot, man.
God.
1600.
right? You gotta take the meat, spit out the bones. It says stand your ground law is a law that allows citizens to protect themselves if they feel their lives are in danger, regardless of whether they could have safely exiled, excited the situation. For example, stand your ground law states that no one should feel forced to leave a premises they have every right to be in.
That's right.
Therefore, the law allows him to use lethal force against a person if he feels that person is an imminent threat to his safety. To explore this concept, consider the following stand your ground law definition. And Esau used this to his wicked advantage, man.
Yeah.
Right? They got the stand your ground law in Florida.
That's what I'm
You
thinking.
know why they got it in Florida, man.
Big
There's a lot of devils down there.
Trayvon Martin.
Trayvon Martin.
Big black man was beating you up.
Yup. That's how George Zimmerman got away with that murder. Stand your ground law.
And that other lady, Amber Geiger, I think, she went into the apartment. I didn't know. I didn't know. I thought it was my apartment. I stood my ground.
And she got away with that.
Yeah.
These people are the double the Bible speaks. So
Was Zimmerman a Jake or a
I got
Spaniard?
appreciate
It was actually an Edomite. His father was an Edomite. His mother was a Hispanic. So he Esau.
That's right. I got a precept. There you go, see that. I got a precept.
We ain't claiming him.
Now, I got a quick precept, man. Get Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 2, and verse 12. Matter of fact, get verse 10, right? Because Esau's the double the Bible speaks of, man. Right? Then they say the origin is the 1600. We just read that in the Bible. Right? You see that? Bring it up.
In the book of Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 12, verse 10, and it reads,
Right?
but executing thy judgments upon them.
No, Slakia, 2 and verse 10.
All right, kind of.
Wisdom of Solomon 2 and verse 10.
In the book of Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 2, verse 10, and it reads,
Right?
let us oppress the poor righteous man.
Right? That's what they do. They oppress the poor, righteous man, right? Really?
Let us not spare the widow,
Right? They don't spare our people, man. Right? Read on.
nor reference the ancient gray hairs of the aged.
They don't give a damn about the old, the women, nothing, right, Read?
Let our strength be the law of justice.
What they say?
Let our strength be the law of justice.
Right, that stand your ground law, man. That nonsense, man.
They legislation.
Right, if you feel he's a threat, a big so-called black man in the hoodie was trying to wrestle with me. But Zimmerman was hunting him down, man.
Sure was.
He on his heels saying, you don't belong here, boy. And then, hey, Trayvon Martin started giving him the hands, man. Beat his ass, man. So he had to kind of kill him. That was his intent from the beginning, because he a damn devil, man.
Precept.
Right? Keep reading though, real fast. Finish that up.
All right. Let our strength be the law of justice,
Right.
for that which is fable is found to be nothing worse.
You see that? So they use that strength, right? They use the law for their strength. They so-called justice, quote unquote.
Yeah, Isaiah chapter 10, verse 1, which is the classic. This is what Esau does, man. You got to understand he's crafty, he's cunning, right? He's a man of war, ultimately, on the left-hand side. So he's going to use laws and legislations. For example, you got laws on sagging, man. You can't sag in certain states. They'll lock you up. And we know Jake love to sag and be a nigga about it, right? So that's a law that Esau uses to jam up Jake.
Hey, that's one of the righteous judgments I've ever seen, though, for real. Because don't nobody want to see no male doing it.
Yeah, but he do it to kill Jake. That's why he do it, man.
It's a snare.
Instead of saying, hey, look, pull up your pants, man, be a man. He want to damn, no, you had your pants sagging, lock you up, throw you in prison, and damn, beat you to death. So it's all out of wickedness, man. Yep, like Sandra Bland, they did that in Texas. They beat that sister down and killed her. And they had her mug shot on the floor, man.
Yeah, that was.
This guy, bring it up.
George Zimmerman actually was on the phone with the police telling them that he got to see this black man with a hoodie on.
Yep.
But he just kept, they said don't follow him too, and he did it.
Yep, the police told him not to follow him.
Even in the court, they had a little visual thing how he killed him.
I remember that.
Like a little video or something like that. It was off though.
And he still got
it, brother.
His daddy was a judge too, though. That's why he got up. His daddy was a sergeant and he was a judge for like 10 years in the prison time.
Yeah, he was
But
tied
we
in.
going for being racist, man.
He was tied. He was oiled in. Get Isaiah chapter 10, verse 1.
Wicked as hell, man.
Isaiah chapter 10, verse 1.
Woe unto them that decree unrighteous decrees.
They decree unrighteous decrees. A decree is a law or a command. So they decree unrighteous laws.
I ain't know that.
Right? Read on.
And that right grievous which they have prescribed.
Which they have prescribed. So they prescribe grievousness.
That's a mighty precept.
It's Psalms chapter 64 again. Psalm chapter 64 and verse 3.
Wicked as hell, man. Let me get this precept.
Man, that pissed me off. In the book of Psalms, chapter 64, verse 3, and it reads, who wet their tongue like a
He
sword.
said they wet their tongue like a sword. Right? So their tongues are their swords. Read on.
And bend their bows to shoot their arrows. Even bitter words.
Even what?
Even bitter words.
Their arrows are those bitter words, those laws, those legislations, those upbraiding speeches that they come out with. Right? And I got another one. Give me Proverbs chapter 16, verse 30. So this stand your ground law, these are all bitter words used to overthrow the Israelites. Domestic terrorism. Hey, that's a law they're going to use to overthrow us, man. Domestic terrorism. That's a felony. You can get put in prison if you so-called threaten someone. So what happened to so-called freedom of speech, man? That went out the window years ago.
Yeah.
Right?
Nation of
His right was never meant for the Israelites.
Nation of fools.
Proverbs chapter 16, verse 30.
In the book of Proverbs, chapter 16, verse 30, and it reads, he shut up his eyes to devise forward
It
things.
said he shut up his eyes to devise forward things. You know when you in deep thought, you got to kind of shut your eyes like, you in deep thought. Read on.
Moving his lips, he bringeth evil to pass.
What the Bible say?
Moving his lips, he bringeth evil to pass.
Moving his lips, he bringeth evil to pass. Right? His different laws, his legislations, his speeches. His lips bring evil to pass. Keep reading. That's it on that.
Yeah.
God.
Bring out Deuteronomy 21 and 4, King. It's like you can start at verse 2. Start at verse 1. Deuteronomy 21 and 1.
In the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 21, verse 1, and it reads, If one be found slain in the land which the Lord thy God given thee to possess it, lying in the field, and it be not known who have slain him.
Right, because it's not every case you know who did it. It's impossible, right? You can't expect to know the killer in every situation. Sometimes people get away with it, unfortunately.
It's like I want to
Right.
get a point too.
Yeah.
A real
Quick point it out. I'm sure most of the time they wouldn't know because they fled.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Unless it was witnesses around, but they fled from the murder
They
scene.
didn't know that.
Right.
And if for some odd reason that Jake, he had a family that just didn't give a damn, kind of just got off, scot-free, so-called. But anyway,
Or didn't have the power to.
yeah, verse 2.
Could have came from a poor family,
Mhm.
right? They can't do much traveling.
Fathers probably died, all the men died, you just got the women,
Yeah.
You can read.
Hey, your closest brother might be lame, right? He might be maimed or something like that. You can't really pursue after someone. Feeble.
Yeah,
Right.
slow.
They saying if they don't know who killed them though, there ought to be a witness if his brother knew. So it's just like you just find a dead body, kind of hit and ducked off somewhere.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know Jake gonna do that. Let's be realistic.
Yeah.
Everybody that killed somebody, they just
Throw him in the.
I got caught.
Yeah.
Nah.
go kind of hide them, run off.
Yeah, they might have found dead bodies in
You
the
might
trash
not want to
heap,
live in a city of refuge.
the damn dump.
Like,
Jammed up.
You might not want to live in a city of refuge.
yeah, you might want to go to another city.
You go back home.
Yeah. You don't got no family members that can do nothing to me.
You had murderers in the ancient. Full occasions.
And I'm sure he would have left and said, I don't know who did it.
Well, he was a wicked judge, so
You know?
he didn't really give a damn. He was a wicked king.
God. Go ahead.
Verse 2. Then thy elders and thy judges shall come forth, and they shall measure unto the cities which are round about him
Right.
that is slain.
This is an investigation. They're very thorough with it. You understand? They didn't just say, all right, let's just, pray to the Lord and fast 40 days. No, they examined the closest neighboring cities. Right? And what else happened after that? Go ahead. Verse 3.
Verse 3. And it shall be that in the city which is next unto the slain man, even the elders of that city shall take him hither. Shall take him and heifer,
Right.
which have not been wrought with him. Wrought with, and which have not drawn in the yoke.
Go ahead.
And the elders of that city shall bring down the heifer unto a rough valley, which is neither eared nor sawn.
Right, these are certain procedures that has to be done once you find a dead body. Again, you can't wing it. They didn't have the damn, I forgot what they called them damn violet light rays. See who follow the footsteps. They didn't have they couldn't dust off the prints. They didn't have all of that. So Most High made them do X, Y, and Z, and we're reading about it. Go ahead.
Verse 5. Verse 5. And the priests of the sons of Levi shall come near, for them the Lord thy God hath chosen to minister unto him, and to bless in the name of the Lord. By their word shall every controversy and every stroke be tried.
Right? They're examining this. Right? Finding out. Bring these men here. Go ahead.
And all the elders of that city that are next to the slain man shall wash their hands over the heifer that is beheaded in the valley.
And what should I say? Go ahead.
And they shall answer and say, our hands have not shed this blood, neither have our eyes seen it.
See this? So this is them making this oath. Look, I didn't do it. Right? And they have to perform a certain exercise. Now, if they were lying, the Most High could have revealed something. But continue.
Verse 8, be merciful, O Lord, unto thy people Israel, whom thou hast redeemed, and laid not innocent blood unto thy people of Israel's charge. And the blood shall be forgiven them.
Right? This is their testimony. Go ahead.
Verse 9, so shalt thou put away the guilt of innocent blood from among you, when thou shalt do that which is right in the sight of the Lord.
Just like that's it on that. All right? Because again, sometimes you got murder mysteries. Nobody never know who did it. You know, that's what you call a cold case. You kind of got to move on after that, unfortunately. You got to mourn for 7 days, tell the family members, hey, you give up the ghost, somebody killed them, and it is what it is. You know.
But if they find out that man that killed that man is gonna get put to death,
Of course.
right?
You know.
You know.
Hey, that's like today, you got serial killers. Nobody found out who the Zodiac killer was. Nobody found out these crazy murders. You know.
That's right.
You had that in the ancient world.
Unsolved murders.
And they probably fled far and then commit more murder.
Yeah, that Zodiac, he was a beast, man.
Yeah.
Like he had damn changed his damn fingerprints.
What?
He was a psychopath.
He was in level 10.
It was Esau.
It definitely
Yeah, it
was
was
Esau.
Esau.
Definitely.
Yeah, you got witnesses. They said it was a Caucasian male.
Yup.
There's
You know, in
always
his
a
40s.
Caucasian male in his 40s
Yeah.
There was a lot of
with
serial
wife and
killers.
kids.
There was a lot of serial killers in the 60s, man.
Yeah,
That's when the Lord really started bringing down Esau,
yeah,
man.
they started getting to going crazy.
Yeah, I got a precept.
A dog gotta go.
I want to deal with the bribery thing, man. But you had wicked judges in the ancient world too, man.
Your mic.
You had wicked, evil judges.
Take your down, man.
Right, give me Exodus chapter 23 and verse 8. So you had wicked judges, start at verse 7. You had wicked judges that will pervert judgment. They could have known about a murderer, but this murderer had big money. He had a lot of gold, a lot of wealth, and he kind of pay off the judge, and the judge just say, well, I ain't see nothing. See what? Right?
That's what they do.
You
now.
was never here. Right? That's what the judges say, man. I don't know you. You was never here. I don't know about nothing. Just give me the money, give me the gold, then he's sticking it in his garment, man. Right? And that's it. Right? And he put it in the storehouse.
And he come out next week with a super fly garment, man. All gold.
And purple.
I didn't see nothing.
Yeah, a lot of wicked judges. Let me bring this out real quick, King. Exodus chapter 23, verse 7.
In the book of Exodus.
So this was going on in the ancient world too, man. Every judge wasn't a righteous judge. So you had men getting away with murder. Right? A lot of violence and wickedness in the land. Bring it up.
In the book of Exodus, chapter 23, verse 7, and it reads, keep thee far from a false matter,
Right?
and the innocent and righteous slay thou not, for I will not justify the wicked.
And now the Lord, he's not going to justify the wicked. And you think you may have gotten away with it in the face of man, but the Heavenly Father sees everything. And give verse 8.
Verse 8, and thou shalt take no gift, for the gift blinded the wise and perverted the words of the righteous.
Right, so that gift is going to pervert the words of the righteous, man. Because you might be a judge, but then this murderer will come to you with an abundance of wealth, and you take that gift, it's going to pervert your words. You're going to turn the blind eye of wickedness. And that's why the Lord said, don't take no gift, meaning don't take bribery. When you're in a position of leadership, you can't take money and bribery, right? And get money from people to pervert the words of righteousness, right? You can't rest counsels, right? You can't turn a blind eye and say, look, brother, just don't deal with it, brother. Just don't deal with it. I got a couple hundreds right here, I got you. And you take the honey and you put it in your pocket and you don't say nothing, your lips sealed. The Lord can destroy you for that, man. Give me Proverbs chapter 17, verse 23. These kind of things happen in Israel. Brothers went to the rest judgment, don't deal with counsel. These things happen, man.
Yeah.
Proverbs chapter 17, verse 23. Madness.
In the book of Proverbs, chapter 27, verse 23, and it reads, A wicked man taketh a gift out of the bosom to pervert the ways of wicked.
Read that again, brother.
A wicked man taketh a gift out of the bosom to pervert the ways of judgment.
Yep. So a wicked man taketh a gift out of the bosom to pervert the ways of judgment. So he take that gold, that silver, those emeralds, the carbuncle, the gates, and guess what? He pervert the ways of righteousness, man. And he let that murderer go scot-free. Now it's nothing but violence in the land. Right? Give me Sirach chapter 10, verse 1. You gotta beware of a wicked judge, man. That's the worst. You got a wicked judge and leader in the midst of the people. That whole land is going to be filled with wickedness, man. Because he's not laying down the law. Bring it up.
In the book of Sirach.
But yet, Salaki, yet he got a lot of money in his garment. He got a purple, silver, and yellow gold garment. And damn, whatever, man.
Well, there's two. Now, you know, it could be more than money.
Yeah.
You know, somebody can say, well, I got a sister. You know, I got a
A
daughter.
woman.
I know this one woman.
I got
She
cattle.
bad. She a Hebrew honey. Huh?
Got cattle.
Cattle.
Right. Come to this man with abundance of horses and she-goats and asses.
I got this from the war of so-and-so.
Yeah.
You know, I got this from the mighty soldier so-and-so.
Yeah.
Just take it. I want you to hold it for me. Tell me how it look in your house.
Yeah.
And he started looking at it.
Come in with them flagons, wine, bread, right?
I got too much wine. Just take some. You know, wicked, man.
Might get his man some land where you can have my vineyard, right? And now the judge kind of said, you know what?
Kind of doing this.
Well, that was judgment, right? And then he kind of take the damn vineyard, man.
All right, I'll take it.
He justified with, well, that was judgment, right? Then he kind of take the vineyard and take the money and take the woman. Now you got a wicked judge in the line. You got it, brother.
In the book of
Well, let me bring this out first.
Numbers 35 and 31.
What you was about to read, Kenny?
Oh, you had me to read Sirach 10 and 1.
Oh, let me bring that out first, Kenny.
In the book of Sirach, chapter 10, verse 1, and it reads,
Going into these wicked judges.
A wise judge will instruct his people.
A wise judge will instruct his people. He will give the law, statutes, and commandments. He will put murderers to death, homosexuals, adulterers, so on and so forth. Read on.
And the government of a prudent man is well ordered.
Read on.
As the judge of the people is himself, so are his officers.
You see that? So if you're a wicked judge, your officer's going to be wicked.
That's right.
Okay, read on.
And what manner of man the ruler of the city is, such are all they that dwell therein.
So again, if you're a judge that take bribes, money to pervert the ways of judgment, the whole land is going to be filled with wickedness, man. Murderers, homosexuals, adulterers, whores, so on and so forth. Read on.
Read on.
Verse 3.
An unwise king destroyeth his people, but through the prudence of them which are in authority, the city shall be inhabited.
Plain upon table. So don't be that wicked judge. Now give me one more Sirach chapter 20, verse 29.
In the book of Sirach, chapter 20, verse 29, and it reads, presents and gifts blind the eyes of the wise.
See that? Presents and gifts blind the eyes. That's not literal blindness. That's just simply saying you turn away your eye from wickedness. Right? A lot of these judges do that, even in Esau's system, man. You might got a Jake, you know, he got a whole bunch of money, and he trying fighting down drug charges. Right? He pay off that lawyer kind of go talk to the judge, which is his right-hand man, and say, let this nigga go. Right? And then he let Jake go, man. All because Jake had that money and that wealth.
Johnny Cocker.
You understand? That's why a lot of Edomites get away with stuff. You got pedophiles. Right? You get a slap on the wrist, 12 months probation. Right?
And get rid of evidence.
Yup. They connected with the DA, the prosecutor, the judge, and the damn jury.
I got a precept too.
Thank you.
All right, so real quick.
Shalom.
Bring out Sirach 20 and 29. What's it done with it?
Oh, it's just some more.
Come on. Read it again from the top.
Presents and gifts blind the eyes of the wise, and stop up his mouth that he cannot reprove.
See that? And stop up his mouth that he cannot reprove. And why can't he reprove? Because he took those presents and those gifts. Right? So that's it on that.
Don, get
The book up.
Salaki, get the book of Jeremiah chapter 2 and verse 33. Right, because you had men taking bribes in this thing too, man. And that's why the land was filled with murder and violence.
Yep.
Back in those ancient times. Still like that, man. Right, bring it up.
In the book of Jeremiah, chapter 2, verse 33.
Right?
Why trimmest thou thy way to seek love?
Like, why you trimming your ways to seek love? To seek that confirmation from man? Right? They probably taking briberies, whatever the case may be, right, Reed?
Therefore hast thou also taught the wicked ones thy ways?
Right, Reed?
Also in thy skirts is found the blood of the souls of the poor innocents.
Right, now this isn't talking about Esau. It's talking about these Israelites, man. Right? So they was killing the innocent. Right? Getting over on the poor, right, Reed?
Finessing.
I have not found it by secret search, but upon all things.
Right, Reed?
Yet thou seest because I am innocent.
Right, they say, hey, look, we innocent, right, Reed?
Surely his anger shall turn from me.
Right, so the Lord said, I didn't even find this in the secret search. It was obvious. And you still saying, look, man, I'm innocent. Right, to the Lord. Right, because they saying that to men, but you can't get away from the Most High, right, Reed?
Surely his anger shall turn from me. Behold, I will plead with thee, because thou sayest, I have not sinned.
Right, so the Lord go deal with you at the end of the day. Like we had one Jake, and he said, look, I killed 3 niggas, man. He was trying to say that to us at the transit. Like he was going to get away with it or something. He said, I got away with it, man. No, you didn't, man. The Lord seen it, brother. And the Lord gonna kill you. Right? Give me one more. Get John 7 and 24.
In the book of John, chapter 7, verse 24, and it reads.
Right?
Hold on, my bad. I slipped up. Okay, I got it now. In the book of John, chapter 7, verse 24, and it reads, judge not according to the appearance, but judge righteous judgment.
Right, so you can't judge according to the appearance, according to someone's wealth. Right? You gotta judge according to the law, huh? Judge in righteousness. Right, so we have wicked judges in this thing like the brother went into too, man. Right, dealing with these murder cases. All right, with that, I yield.
That's my last precept.
Con.
Yeah, I don't watch a lot.
Yeah, you walk around that one. Real quick.
Numbers 35
Said 35, 33.
31.
Con.
Bring that out.
In the book of Numbers, chapter 35, verse 31, and it reads, moreover, ye shall take no satisfaction for the life of a murderer.
That's mean right there. You shall take no satisfaction for the life of a murderer. That's right. Go ahead.
Which is guilty of death.
Which is guilty of death.
Yeah, that goes into no harboring a fugitive, man. Harboring that man. Well, that's my baby. You know, mothers. That's my baby. He didn't mean to.
I don't see nothing.
He's a good boy. He washed dishes. You know.
He said that.
And when they say that,
flocks.
yeah,
Right.
he milked my mouth. You know.
When they say that, this is what the Lord say when they say that. But he shall surely, but he shall be surely put to death.
Hey, surely put to death, man.
Right.
Not well.
Definitely, right.
No, definitely. Emphatically.
Without a shadow of a doubt.
That's right. So
Con.
all praises to Yahweh. Shalom, shalom, malak, Yahweh Shai. That was murder cases and the law and the scriptures.
That'll be a quick. We'll have a quick mission, and come back at you.
That's what's fire.
You know,